Today, we're diving into an essential aspect of cooperative governance, understanding your cooperative's governing documents. Articles that serve as the foundational blueprint for your organization, and the bylaws, or the operating agreements, which act as the fundamental rulebook for your organization. Understanding these essential documents will help you keep your co-op tidy, well-organized, and running smoothly. But first, let's go over the basic structure of a cooperative as a business and why that is important for the governing documents. Worker cooperatives are most commonly organized in one of the two following ways: Cooperative Corporation and the Limited Liability Company, or LLC. Each entity type has implications on important issues, including ownership, taxation, and compliance with state and federal laws, so it's best to talk with an expert to decide which one is a better fit for your situation. The differences between an LLC and a cooperative corporation are notable. While an LLC is accessible across all 50 states in the USA, it is rarely tailored for cooperatives. Cooperative corporations, regulated by specific statutes in states like California, are specifically designed for cooperative operations. Whenever possible, use a state statute that is designed for cooperative because it already includes laws and regulations fundamental to the cooperative structure. In instances where such a statute isn't available, it is important to shape the internal governing documents so that they are guided by cooperative values and principles. The first former step of opening and setting up your cooperative is filing articles. If you are organized as a cooperative corporation, you would file Articles of Incorporation. If you're organized as an LLC, you would file Articles of Organization. These documents lay out basic information about your cooperative, like the company name, the purpose of the business, the powers, duties, and obligations of members, and other foundational information. You can think of the articles as a birth certificate for your new cooperative. Congratulations! Now that you are a proud parent of a brand new cooperative, you are going to want to lay down some ground rules. This is usually done in your internal governing documents, bylaws if you are a corporation, or the operating agreement if you are an LLC. While the Articles of Incorporation are external documents that are governed by state laws and regulations, the bylaws and operating agreements govern the cooperative internally. So, what are they exactly? Think of them as the rulebook or a constitution for your cooperative. They designate the purpose of your co-op, the roles and responsibilities of members, how decisions are made, how profits are distributed, and other crucial matters. Whether you're a cooperative corporation or an LLC, these documents are the cornerstone of how your cooperative operates and help keep your house in order. They provide clarity and guidance for each member involved to ensure fairness, accountability, and transparency in decision-making processes. For these reasons, it is important that the LLC have an operating agreement and the corporation have bylaws, even if they are not required by law in every state. Both the operating agreement and bylaws typically include the following topics, which should contain certain elements to ensure that it operates as a cooperative. Purpose of the cooperative. A cooperative is formed to serve its members. In a worker co-op, these members are the people who both work in and co-own the business. The service provided is employment that prioritizes the mutual needs of members. What makes a worker cooperative unique is that it prioritizes member needs and cooperative principles, rather than just making money from members' investments. Ownership structure. Cooperative members equally own and democratically control the enterprise on the basis of one vote per member owner. Economic participation. In a cooperative, control isn't tied to how much money a member puts in. Instead, it's based on how much they work or participate in the cooperative. A portion of profits or losses are allocated to members according to patronage, based on their participation in the cooperative, like the hours they worked or the wages they earned. Some of the profits are retained in a collective account to make sure the business stays strong and lasts a long time. The cooperative uses money to help it grow and succeed. The bylaws and operating agreement are important because they help you stay organized, provide clarity and guidance for the operation of the business, help prevent disputes among members, and ensure that the worker cooperative operates in accordance with its intended structure and goals. In addition to the elements fundamental to the cooperative structure, these documents also prescribe the following components. Board of Directors. Unless every member is considered a director, they define how the directors are chosen, how many there will be, and how long they will serve. Decision-making processes. They explain voting procedures, which decisions must be made by members, and which are left to directors. They also define whether certain decisions need more than just a majority vote, like a supermajority, to be approved. Meetings. They define the procedures for member and director meetings, including the minimum number of people needed, called a quorum, for a meeting to be official. Dissolution. They explain the decision-making process and how assets are divided when closing the worker co-op. Amendments. They describe the steps to follow when making changes to the bylaws or operating agreement. While bylaws and operating agreements provide the overarching guidelines on how decisions are made, policies and procedures provide specific instructions on how tasks should be performed, how certain situations should be handled, and what is expected of members in various scenarios. In any cooperative, whether it's a cooperative corporation or an LLC, the bylaws or the operating agreement are vital documents that every member should hold dear. These documents are not just a legal requirement. They're a crucial tool for transparency, accountability, and effective governance. Let's explore some scenarios that may arise when cooperative members stray from their operating agreement or their bylaws. Busy Brushes Co-op is a cleaning business that was established as an LLC in 2018. The cooperative is financially successful. Yet, cooperative members have struggled with understanding their operating agreement. Many of the members are intimidated by the dense legal language. Key terms like quorum are not properly understood, so sections in the operating agreement that include that term are largely disregarded. During the holiday season in 2022, many of the members were on vacation visiting family. A group of members decided to have a meeting to discuss how tips would be allocated. This has been a hot-button issue for the cooperative for years, and consensus was difficult to reach. The operating agreement for Busy Brushes Co-op states that a majority of members shall constitute a quorum at a general meeting in order to carry forward decisions. Since the cooperative has 11 members, a quorum would need at least 6 members. The meeting to discuss the tipping policy was called, and 5 members attended the meeting. A policy was discussed and passed unanimously. Was this a valid policy? Unfortunately, this decision was not valid as it went against the provisions of the operating agreement regarding quorum. Busy Brush's co-op did not follow their operating agreement because they did not use it as an important guiding document. They needed to try to understand what certain terms meant rather than avoid them. This can easily happen in a co-op, but can also be easily avoided. Let's spend some time looking at ways that the worker cooperative can better use their internal governing documents. Education. Review of bylaws or the operating agreement should be integrated as part of the co-op's onboarding process. Integrate education into meetings by reading a section of the bylaws or by reviewing particular terms, such as quorum or patronage. Have a workshop once or twice a year to help members in understanding governing documents and refine their problem-solving skills. Be sure to include scenarios that highlight common pitfalls that cooperative members may face, and work together to solve them using the processes in the bylaws or the operating agreement. Reference. Make sure every member is provided with a copy. Have a printed copy of the bylaws or the operating agreement available in the main place of business for easy reference. Make sure that the copy is readily available at meetings. Delegate. Assign every member a key section of the bylaws or operating agreement to know so they can lead education on that topic when appropriate. Sadie can own the election process. Pedro can own the board responsibilities. Jamie can own patronage distribution. In a large co-op, you may have several members who own the same section. Be creative. Strategies to emphasize and use governing documents are endless. Create your own. Governing documents can be dense, but don't let that intimidate you. Regardless of the measures that your co-op is taking to assist its members in understanding them, it is your duty as a member to take your time to go through each section carefully. Familiarize yourself with key terms and definitions, and seek clarification from experts or experienced co-op members if something is unclear. When co-op members know their governing documents inside and out, they empower themselves to shape the future of their cooperative.